Is your marriage really a situationship in disguise? Well, if it is, there's a reason for that. And I'm here doing my first live in the group today, so hopefully you guys will find some benefit from this. But in truth, a situationship is all the rage right now. It's basically a relationship without commitment. And you could say, so how can a marriage, which is really pretty much commitment defined, um, be considered a situationship? Well, this is really kind of the thing because commitment is actually an ongoing day to day thing that you do. It's not just determined by a piece of paper or going through a ceremony. And the issue with a situationship is that it's characterized by a lack of obligation. And its real hallmark is that it has lack of boundaries. It actually is the benefits of a traditional relationship without having to make a commitment, right? And so what it allows is it allows you to feel a sense of connection, but also give you the independence of being single. And quite frankly, if you're practicing a situationship in your marriage, you're neither connected nor are you truly independent, because the hallmark of a good marriage is interdependence. And so many people are trying to protect themselves from being hurt that they try to live independent lives. Or in a lot of marriages, what happens is that they just they grow apart. They stop doing things together. They continue to focus on what makes them feel good and feel comfortable, and they don't make room for their partner, or their partner doesn't make room for them. And you kind of don't have any idea of where you are in the relationship. There are actually two things that should never come as a surprise: a proposal of marriage or a request for a divorce. Neither one of those things should come out of the blue. But it happens to a lot of men that they think everything's okay until their wife asks for a divorce. And usually by that time, guys, it's too late. And she may not have been being committed to you. You may not have been being committed to her. And actually, it's really not a commitment to each other. It's actually a commitment to the relationship. Your commitment is to being the best partner you can be, regardless of what the other person is doing. And what happens is we tend to focus on what we're not getting and whatever, which is real. But what happens is if you're in a situationship, one of the hallmarks of that is being afraid to actually have the conversation. And so there are three things that will keep your marriage from becoming a situationship. The first, number one, clarity. What is it that you want this relationship to look like? What is it that you're willing to put into the relationship? What is it that you want to get out of the relationship? That's number one. Number two, courage. Courage to be honest. Courage to be honest about what you want. Courage to be honest about the things that aren't okay. The courage to have this honest conversation regardless of how difficult it is. And number three, the ability to communicate calmly and effectively, right? Because most of the time when we're having conversations, when you and your wife are having conversations about the status of your relationship, it's difficult. It's emotional. It's hard to stay on track. It's easy to either divert onto her or her to divert onto you without keeping your eyes on what you want this relationship to look like. And if you're having difficulty with any of those three things, clarity, courage to be honest, and communication about what you want, I can help. I invite you to get in touch with me. You can DM me down. You can send me a message through the group. You can DM me down below. You can contact me at coach@theherohusbandproject.com. But the thing is you don't want to let this settle and continue to have the two of you grow apart, because there's only one way that that's going to end, and it's not going to be a good one. I understand that it can be really scary to have these conversations, and that's why I invite you to schedule a time with me where we can walk through what that conversation would look like, where we can get you to the point where you can have the conversation about the marriage that you really want. So hopefully you found that helpful, and until next week, stay loving.